Today with us, we have Mr. Manos Manoli, who is the Chief Information Security of Marlow Navigation, so I'm wearing another hat now. So we will talk a little bit about cybersecurity and how things have changed and evolved the last years. We will talk about a little bit COVID, how things have changed, and we will also see how the typical cyber criminal nowadays is actually taking opportunities to exploit our organizations. When I come across to people at non-IT and talk about security, they very commonly say to me, oh, we have never been hacked. There was never an incident where we had to intervene and call a security company, and there was never an issue within our networks. And unfortunately, that is also the evolution of the cyber criminals. If you look at those people, they are obsessed for developing this criminality in a level that they will direct benefit. And of course, every time I keep saying the same words, there's only one motive out of that. It was not to beat your webpage, it was not to bring shame to your company, it was not to, let's say, revenge because they have been fired. The motive is only one, which is money. So the cyber criminals understood that for so many years, we, as an IT people, have been building huge castles around our networks. We have been building huge technological servers in order to defend our networks from malware, from ransomware, from phishing, from intrusion. We name them intrusion prevention, then we name them intrusion detection, or the other way around. We created patterns, we created servers. I end up in my company having more security servers than normal servers to serve our colleagues. COVID has actually took out those people that were behind that castle, behind our organization, and teach them that nowadays our office, it's our bedroom, our living room, our kitchen, our bathroom, you just name it. So whatever we have applied as a defense line, when all these people went out there working from home, they were not anymore behind those walls. And as I said before, people stopped commuting, people stopped talking to each other, everything was behind Teams, everything was over a phone or over an email. And if you heard the other presenters before, they talk how much cybercrime has expanded the last 3 years. So when we come to security, the last COVID pandemic has taught us that the bad guys are not interested anymore to break through our hardware security. They find it too hard. So they have developed very well something else called human reverse engineering. We'll go through that in the next slides. It is well known. I've read a very nice article last week saying, if you want to become a millionaire, forget about robbing a bank. Get a new laptop and just go outside a cafe and start doing cyber criminality. And unfortunately, he's a little bit right, because as humans, we are not programmed to always behave in a certain way. We have our weakness, and one of our weaknesses is that we trust easily each other. We trust the email, we trust that we need to rush, we trust that whenever we received an email, and part of the slides that I will go through, it's also how we educate our colleagues inside our environment to have this, if you don't like the term zero trust, at least filter trust to what they see and what they behave. So let me see Sorry, that's in Greek. I couldn't find them in English, but it doesn't matter that in Greek. That's the search I've made through the newspapers. Okay, some of them are from Sigma Live, some of them are from Philaeleftheros. Don't take my word, just go and search into a newspaper, type cybercrime every single day. It's not a film anymore with Sandra Bullock, it's every single day happening with so many techniques and so many different ways. Thousands, millions, hundreds of thousands, post office. This was categorized as a shipping-related cybercrime because it was a shipping-related company that actually imported 12 of those, and the owner has paid the wrong guy with in the wrong bank accounts. So I'm not quite sure how much those cost. I would say 100,000 approximately. He ordered 12, and he paid the whole amount to someone else. So if I say that the rough figure of £100,000 each, they're second-hand, he ordered 12, so you understand how much money went in the wrong hands. One of the other problems are that this is the guy who is the chief officer for the police cybercrime. He says that he has 30 to 40 cases per day in Cyprus, some of them still shipping related. And the biggest problem is that he sees that less than 50% of the companies are reporting that. You understand that when you fall out for this, there is a lot of people that feel shame. They try not to, let's say, harm the reputation of their company, and there is a lot of companies that are not reporting cybercrime. So, which is again, a very worrying fact. So, back to our COVID years and when COVID started, we had 3 different categories of companies. I don't think I have a laser on this thing, but nevertheless. If you see at level 1, they were the companies that really panicked at the beginning and started to give the remote access to everyone out there. So the level 1 secure deployment companies gave to their employees encrypted computer or encrypted laptops or workstation with software that have behavior analysis and will have protect them when they went outside home from all malicious software. So that was a very wise approach. Or either they have treated their employees like outsides and then guide outsiders, so they guide them through their web applications, which they were secure. There was the second group of companies that deployed an unsecure remote access, like usernames and password are enough, yeah? So I have a username and password and I will be fine. Just give me your credit card, don't give me your PIN, and let me show you if you're fine or not. So they have deployed this remote access to the companies with no further two-way authentication. I will, in my slides, also tell you how you can beat very easily the two-way authentication. And they were even worse, the companies that offered a solution with a very secure virtual private network to the company, but with no security on their endpoints. Meaning that, okay, you can use your laptop, or I'm giving you a company laptop, you can go home, I will connect you with a very secure VPN to your organization and you will be able to work. But then the laptop or the computer was in a home network unprotected. So if I somehow gain that access to that laptop or that computer, then I could also be a passenger in that super secure VPN. It's like you provide it with an armed vehicle, but the hackers are sitting inside that armed vehicle and they go in a secure way to where you want to take them. I will show you some examples. I wanted to do the example right now with a right now in this presentation with the volunteer, but I don't have the time for it, so I made a very quick video so you can see what's going on. Passwords. Remember I've showed you this before. Remember that last year I've talked about how I was part of the artificial intelligence program regarding cybersecurity last year, not last year, 2019, there was no last year, in Israel. So we developed then an artificial way of passwords where you could type a password. Let's say if my username is Manos and my password is Manos, I type username Manos, password Manos, and the artificial intelligence will calculate the speed I type the keys, the time it takes me to click one key to the other, the way I type, the way I move my mouse from username to password. So that will have made OTP passwords not useful anymore because that was very good artificial intelligence security. Guess what? 2021, the cyber criminals use artificial intelligence to attack companies. I will show you in the next slides. I will come back to this, okay? It's really important, I will come back to this. So we come to a level where we hear about Yahoo breached 3 billion accounts, leaking in 700 million users' data were actually lost. Facebook, okay, Facebook was a data breach, but somehow I feel that it was a paid data breach where it was a mix of I will sell you that data and you tell that it was a whatever. WhatsApp, Twitter, somehow all of these well-known trusted organizations lost millions and millions of data. So let me see if I can play this. This is what we've done with the home user, okay? We disabled the endpoint security. We left him home working on his unknown provider PC. We took a little spyware, we changed a little bit the coding, and we turned it from spyware to a tool. So we sent it as an email to him, embedded in a PDF. So once he opened the PDF, he installed the little software. Nothing happened in the PDF. Of course, it was a phishing PDF pretending to be from our organization. So of course, he trusted it. And some people say, oh, how can you do? I can teach a 7-year-old kid how to send you email pretending to be anyone you want. That's not rocket science and that's not IT, okay? That's really basics. If you go to the Limassol Youth Hackers Security Club, it's down the Leoforos Makariou, go there, 6, 7 years old kids come with backpacks and they do these things for fun. So if you think that sending you an email pretending to be someone is rocket science, get over it. It's chapter 1, page 1. So we've sent him the little PDF pretending to be from our director, PDF called please look into it. He clicks on it, he gets his computer infected. That's my computer. That's his computer. He's now infected. I'm running this from my laptop, from my home. He's on the other side. Whatever he types, I see him on my computer live. Well, not live, 10 or 12 seconds delay, okay? So whatever he does, he goes, I get it on this side. You notice on the top, I don't know if you can see it, that's an HTTPS protocol. That's the VPN I told you before, remember? You will tell me how the heck, Manos, are you breaking HTTPS? I'm not. I've actually gained the hardware control of his laptop, so I'm not breaking any VPNs. Whatever he does, I see it here, okay? So now I go into the screen capture. Whatever he visits, I see it on my computer. Remember, that's a virtual private network connection, but his laptop, hardware-wise, it's mine with one file. So again, if you think that these can be responsibly or security can be ignored to have a business continuity, think again when you see that. I still can teach one of those kids of how to do that. It's not rocket science. So when you start thinking about remote access to your organizations, please make sure that they're truly and really in a very secure environment. What's next? I don't need to show that. The other gentlemen before have showed you how many incidents, phishing, remote services, denial of service. Is there anyone here that doesn't know what a denial of service is? I will explain. Let's say you have in your office 100 megabit line, and I am a bad guy. Remember, as a bad guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm assuming to be a bad guy, okay. As a bad guy, we are not intended anymore to directly attack companies the IT way. So I'm going into the dark web, I'm going into onion ring browsing. I bet, don't start typing on your phones what is onion ring browsing, okay? It's bad things. So I go into onion browsing, and then I pay $75.95 in the dark web, and I order an attack for your network from 7 or 8 different destinations. I'm paying something like 600 or 700 euros, and then you have an attack scheduled on a specific time on your network, bringing your lines down. Everything is very busy. That's why it's called denial of service, because your firewalls and your intrusion prevention systems are very busy saying no, 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 no. So why am I keep saying that security, it's not anymore an IT thing only? Because the IT people will say, oh my God, we have a denial of service attack. We need to stop that in order to give our service back to our clients and our mails to continue running. So they focus on the denial of service. It's an attack. Wherefore, the cyber criminal is just noise. Okay, so when he sends that email to you with the suspicious content, and you are the lady that does the payment, or you are the gentleman who is going to take a critical decision out of this mail, and you call the IT and say, oh, I received this mail, and they will say, oh, I'm too busy, bye-bye, and they hack the phone to you because they have a denial of service attack. So he proceeds and does that. So you understand the art of deceiving people and how the engineers look at it and how the cyber criminals look at it. Artificial intelligence, my favorite subject. Remember about the username Manos, the password Manos? I think it was March, this year, March, there was a number of attacks using artificial intelligence to attack big companies with 99.39% success. There is software which was initially meant for other purposes. Now you can download them, don't download them. They cost between 60 and 70 euros for the easy ones. They cost 300 euros for the good ones, where you can record voice and then you can speak and simulate that voice. I will show you a video in the next slides. So let me play that so you can get. So this guy gets a call from his boss over the phone, talking to him in pure English language with all the Cockney accents and the London accents, etc., etc. He was his buddy. He knew him, and the bad guy with the voice of his boss persuaded him to make a money transfer. If you think that's rocket science, if you think that's really too much, I guarantee you there's tens of those happening every single day. Here's the software I've downloaded, 340 euros, and I play with it. It can simulate a Cypriot accent so good that I find hard myself to tell who is me and who is the software.
It seems like sorcery, but the new AI service, Respeecher, offers really high-tech artificial intelligence. Just speak, and their voice conversion technology transforms your voice into another. But let me actually show you how good this is compared to previous attempts at cloning voices.
Hey guys, here's a short demo of our voice conversion technology. We'll be converting my voice to the voice of Barack Obama.
What we've said consistently is that there has to be a political settlement to bring about genuine peace in the region.
The system captures the idiosyncrasies of how I say something each time I say it. I can say the same thing many times. The same thing many times. The same thing many times. And each time the recording will be correspondingly different. This makes voice conversion suitable for applications where the result should have the personality and range of emotion of a real person.
Hi, I'm Grant, a co-founder of Respeecher. In a minute you'll see a video of Daniel Cohn, the head of Lyft Labs, and then you'll see a video where I speak in Daniel's voice.
You are listening to the Ideas Elevated podcast of Comcast, NBC Universal, Lyft Labs. The system captures the idiosyncrasies of how I say something each time I say it. I can say the same thing many times, the same thing many times, the same thing many times. And each time the recording will be correspondingly.
Speecher costs 350 euros. If you do have 350 euros to experiment, just go ahead and try. Don't buy it with your company credit card and blame me, okay? Just, if you have an experimentation, download it and you will see the results. So can you understand what could that thing do in a COVID era where we don't see each other, where we do everything remotely? Can you understand that this goes beyond the level of cybersecurity? It's something that I should call it an anomaly, brain anomaly, okay? So let me just, I think that's my nearly last slide. If not my last slide, my previous from last slide. So do you remember the guy, the boy that was actually, the only person that was actually arrested in Cyprus for cybercrime incidents? At that point when he was arrested the first time, he was underage. The court asked that because he couldn't take him to court, he had to be escorted either from a psychologist or his parents or an IT professional every time he went out. The court also ordered that he's not allowed to a laptop for the period of 3 years, but they allow him to have his smartphone, so it didn't make any difference. So I had to join him twice when he had to go outside his house because there were actually different professionals. That it was really a learning curve for both sides. So this guy walks in Alpha Mega, and I'm walking with him. Remember, he's 17. He sees a target. I hated to call it a target, but it was a lady well-dressed in an office suit. So he looks at her, takes a picture, takes a bottle of beer, and then I said, if you open that beer, since you're underage, I will report that. He said, no, I'm not going to open the beer. He walks with her, behind her, and she gets on the cashier. And she only has a few stuff, so the lady in the cashier say, do you have a bonus card? She says, yes. Can I give you my number? And then the lady tells the cashier the number, and the kid now is recording on his phone. Okay, and then, of course, one of my eyebrow went up. I was looking at it and said, you're taking it too far. He says, no, I'm not doing anything. So she says, 99543, whatever. He's recording it. And the cashier lady turns to him and say, are your name Maria Onisiforu, whatever, just a random name? She says yes. And he walks with me out. Now he has recorded her name, her surname, and her phone number. As we walk into the parking, he raises his phone, he takes a picture of her car with the license plates. The reason why I mention that is that you understand that it becomes an obsession to them to get as much information they can in order to use them at the right time. I'm keep telling you that once you're going to be hacked, you're not going to know it, because the reason is not to break down your network. So the guy called on the insurance companies and says that he's an insurance agent and he has a no-claim bonus, and the insurance company, no, it's not our customer, it's not our customer. And then one of the insurance companies say, oh, it's our customer, and she had some accident, so why is she going to you when she had and her insurance ends up somewhere in the end of the year? So what is going on? And he says, are we talking about the same person? It's Maria Ignatiu, telephone 99548, blah, 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 blah. Silver Mercedes ABB 944. The lady insurance says yes. Do you have an address to confirm that? And she tells the address to him over the phone, thinking that he is an insurance broker. 5 minutes. He had name, surname, car, home address, registration number, and then he shows me on his phone her Facebook account. That's how easy it is to gain information from someone. That's why you need to understand that it's not all about IT. He did not target her individually. He was interested where she was working. I will not tell where she was working because I'm not entitled to, but he was a very key person. So if you forget about hardware, computers, firewalls, security has only had to do 30% with that. If you look at it at the information security side, IT is only the yellow stuff, okay? No, it's actually the top of the world. Is that orange? The orange stuff. The rest of it has nothing to do with IT because it's all about strategy. Strategy is not an IT thing. It's a company. It's a management thing. Strategy is something that all your employees understand. So awareness is also something that all your employees have to go. Training, it's something that all your employees have to go. If you're not doing a security awareness every year to your employees and colleagues, then it means that you have a large risk appetite. All right? So regulatory and compliance. Oh, Manos, regulations, we have enough regulations in the industry, the shipping industry. You want us to throw us more regulations? Even if you're not looking to go into ISO 27001, you don't have to be certified as a 20001 company. But if you go through and follow that, it gives you a very good picture of what is the industry standard regarding cybersecurity. Securing your let's say supplier and clients, very important. We all think about ourselves. You know what cyber criminals do? If they cannot pretend to be a supplier to you and get your money, the next step will be that they will pretend of you to your clients. If your client is a small office with a few, let's say, employees, and they pay him instead of you, does that have an indirect impact to you? Of course it does. So it's not only training yourself, it's also demanding from your colleagues, suppliers, clients to have a level of security. Data classification. If you don't know what is in your company classified as confidential, non-confidential, if you regularly see girls in the elevator with a big pile of papers taking as homework and they don't understand the importance of it, then you need to work on that as well. I've already said enough, and I think I've made you a little bit tired. I have the reputation of talking too much. Anyway, you can definitely, those are the policies I've talked to before. If you don't have policies, that's the Marlow Information Security Web Browsing Policy. That is our images policy. Ladies are getting crazy with their image. You know, they're taking a picture, what a beautiful day at work, I'm eating a beautiful apple, and then you take that picture, you take it to Photoshop, you go zoom, 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 effects, sharpener, effects, sharp, and then you can read what's on her monitor. It's a contract of a seafarer. So we also have a policy where we say where you're allowed to take pictures within the company. If you don't have one, it's about time to do one. What's that? That is email and web security policy. And you need to make sure that your colleagues understand them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm still locked with my iPad, so I don't know who's next. But I'm sure that's this panel. Excellent. So there will be a panel session where the previous gentleman that actually make a presentation, and not only, will be able to answer your questions. If you have any, if you don't have any, I will ask them questions. Try to have some questions. That's your best time to raise questions. And we please bring the equipment here for the people to